Hey y'all! Welcome back. We are in November. Today is November 12th. I'm recording this. It's late at night, Thursday night, right before Friday the 13th, and the weekend before UFC 193. Coming off of last weekend's fights. We had a lot of fights. November was pretty crazy. I know I missed last week's recording. I had something recorded and then time got the best of me. You know what sucks? I've been trying to get guests on here and people just suck to work with in general. I mean, I write for a sports website. You'd think you'd have a bunch of anxious people to come and talk about the sports that you write about, and it's pretty tough. I think this is probably the third or fourth podcast that I've said how hard it is to get a goddamn guest on this thing. Anyway, I'm not going to complain to you. I don't want to take too much time. So it's me, Ed Carbajal, mixed martial arts analyst for page2sports.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Carbazal. And this is the Carbazal MMA podcast, number 13. Yes, I'm coming to you without a guest. Sorry about that, but I'm working on it. I'll keep on trying. It just bees that way sometimes. So, what did we miss since we last spoke? Was so Bellator 145 Vengeance happened. We had the UFC event with Dan Henderson and Vitor Belfort happened, and so let's just go through those real quick before we talk about this weekend coming up, UFC 193. I had watched Bellator 145 Vengeance, had a lot of rematches on it, and the one that I had was looking forward to most ended quickly. It was the heavyweights, Bobby Lashley versus James Thompson. I love watching both those guys fight. And I kind of knew Bobby Lashley was going to win just because I guess he's younger and he's definitely, for his size, he moves. I mean, his athleticism he hasn't taken as much damage as James Thompson has in the fight game, even though his record is probably because his record is younger. I saw him winning, and he did a low single leg takedown on James Thompson that looked like it wrenched his knee a bit, and even though he was hurt, he was still in the fight, and he got finished though in the first round early. It happened really fast, so I hope his knee's all right because I would like to see him. I'd like to see him fight Kimbo Slice again. That would have been a better matchup because they haven't done anything with Kimbo lately. Although in that event they announced they're going to do. Why they're doing it, I have no idea. I guess it's going to make money. They announced Kimbo Slice and Royce Gracie are going to fight once again at in the near future. Some tentpole event. Did I say Kimbo Slice? No. He is fighting. He's fighting Dada 5000. Sorry, I got my announcement mixed up because they walked him out together. So it's Ken Shamrock fighting Royce Gracie again at this future event, and then they're going to have Kimbo Slice fight Dada 5000. That's not his real name. I hate saying I don't know why they're using these names, but anyway, Dada 5000, better known as Dafir Harris. If you watched Dogfight, it's a documentary you can just watch right now on Netflix. You'll find out all you need to know about Dada 5000 and why him and Kimbo Slice are fighting. They're from the same neighborhood. They came up the same way. Somebody used YouTube, somebody didn't. That's supposedly their whole beef. Harris, a.k.a. Dada 5000, is 2-0, and they're going to be fighting soon, so they're going to try to market that up and sell. He didn't look like he was in shape to fight Kimbo Slice, so watch he's in better shape in the actual documentary, so who knows what he's been doing since his, I think his last fight was in 2012. So who knows what he's been doing or why that fight's happening now. They had a highly rated, supposedly they beat UFC in the ratings between both their events that weekend. But either way, I mean, if you want to know a little bit more about Dogfight, you can go to my website, theblogboardjungle.com. I got a review up about it when I watched it early in the summer, or when it was first released on Netflix. So it's worth watching if you're going to watch the fight. And if you're a fight fan, an MMA fan like I am, you're probably going to watch it anyway. Will Brooks defended his title on that Vengeance card as well against Marcin Held. It was a unanimous decision. Marcin went to his go-to leg locks, and there was a point where he pretty much said after the fact that his knee popped and everything. It was locked in, but Brooks was relaxed and he drilled. It did everything he drilled to get out of avoid the submission or avoid tapping. It looked like he was hurt, but afterwards, but it didn't show during the fight. I mean, he definitely let everyone know he's holding on to that belt for a while. So good for Will Brooks. And then Patricio Freire, aka Pitbull of the Pitbull brothers, he lost his belt to Daniel Straus. Daniel Straus once again holds the title in Bellator at the ever-changing bantamweight. I'm sorry, he fights at featherweight. But either way, it's an odd turn of events that he's got the belt back. And I think the beef with the Pitbull brothers that they had before they had the early in the week, the beef with Will Brooks, it was on Twitter. You can go to Page 2 Sports and read about it. The assessment I did before the event, maybe that was messing with him. Who knows? The police were brought in. There's supposedly video of it. So that hasn't surfaced, but who cares about that stuff? I mean, that outside of the ring stuff, I really don't like to focus on. But that's just all drama that the sport does not need at this point. And then we had, that was on Friday night, last Friday night. And then the following Saturday was Dan Henderson and Vitor Belfort 3 fighting at UFC Fight Night 77. Glover Teixeira finished Patrick Cummins, which I kind of saw happening. Vitor Belfort, that was a co-main event, and Vitor Belfort, he managed to finish Dan Henderson in the first round. I never count out Dan Henderson. I won't count him out. I know he's got one fight left on his contract, and I'm still going to pick him to win. I mean, I know he's older and he's up there for fighting, but man, the guy's just done so much in this sport. He's got nothing left to prove. So he's got 14 losses now on his record. I thought the fight, in all honesty, he seemed like he was defending himself to me. He seemed like he was still defending himself. So I thought the stoppage, I mean, he's not a complainer, so he didn't complain. I thought the stoppage was a little bit earlier. It's been called controversial. I know Herb Dean has an opinion on it, and I wanted to hear it before I recorded this, but I don't want to go another week without putting something up for the 15 listeners I got on Spreaker that listened to this. So, anyway, I thought the stoppage was early, and Mario Yamasaki is not my favorite referee. I don't like, ever since that the groin kick incident with Frank Trigg and Matt Hughes, where he kind of just, sometimes I think he's in outer space when he refs fights. So as soon as I see him as a ref, I'm always concerned about the outcome. But, you know, it's already said and done, and I'm pretty sure why he would keep fighting. He's got nothing left to prove. He's got one fight left, Dan Henderson. So if he fights and he win or lose, he should probably call it a career, start coaching guys and stuff. But those were the fights from last weekend. And then we got this weekend coming up, the big UFC 193. I wanted to talk to Daniel Zaldivar. I wanted to get him on here with me because I kind of talk about this one because of Holly Holmes' boxing background. He's a boxing analyst over at Page 2 Sports. And it looks like a big concern for everyone that breaks down the fight and looks at it. Seems concerned with whether or not Rousey can deal with Holly Holmes' range from the outside. She seems good at fighting at that range and coming in and closing the distance with a lot of flurries. Obviously, with her boxing background, she can knock people out. She could probably knock out Ronda Rousey. And my only concern for her is same as everyone else, is fighting at that range and being clipped a lot to the point that she gets TKO'd. I don't think she can get. She seems to have a strong. She seems to take a lot of hits to get close to work her game. So I'm concerned. It's a little bit concerned just because of that. But since she hasn't really finished anybody, Holly Holm, I'm talking about, she hasn't finished anybody since she's got to the UFC. I mean, she's fought twice, and they were both decisions. She was knocking out people in other promotions, so I don't know if UFC competition is definitely tougher than where she came from. So the fact that they're shooting her up to fight Ronda Rousey might be a little too much for her, but we'll see. I mean, they're both undefeated. Somebody's gonna get a loss on their record. I'm still picking Rousey to win just because I think her mental toughness is gonna help her no matter what Holm throws at her. So we'll see. Hopefully Yamasaki's not the ref, but she looks ready. I was watching the open workouts on Periscope, and if you guys watch them too, you'll see that. I mean, she looks healthy. She looks ready. They both look healthy, ready, quick. I don't know. We'll see what happens Saturday night, I guess. But that card is really that's a stacked pay-per-view card. I don't want to butcher the 115-pound champ's name. Joanna, I'll just call her JJ. You know the champ. She's fighting Valerie Letourneau. I just can't say her name. I'm sorry. I hear them say it on TV. I've tried to mimic it. It's just, I'm not going to try. And she's fighting Valerie Letourneau. And I think I just finished writing my article. It's about to go up. So you can read my assessment on page2sports.com. But I'm pretty much calling Ronda Rousey and Joanna to hold on to their belts once they get through their fights on Saturday. There's really no there's really no case for them to lose against the opponents they have. They're tough, but I don't know if that they're tough, ready for a title shot. Valerie Letourneau is, but definitely not Holly Holm, because that should have been Miesha Tate and her again fighting. But that's another story. I'd like to get some opinions on that. If you guys want to send me your comments, you can email me over at theblogboardjungle.com. My contact information's on there, or you can shoot me a tweet on the Twitters. Anyway, but the rest of the card for UFC 193 has the rematch with Mark Hunt and Bigfoot Silva. They fought to a draw last time. That one on their record is against each other. That was an insane fight. So no surprise. It was on regular TV. No surprise that it's on pay-per-view now. I don't think it's gonna. They're not gonna have another draw. Draws are rare in MMA, but we're gonna get one. We had one with them. I don't think we're gonna get one this Saturday. Mark Hunt. They're fighting Australia, and Mark Hunt is like the local favorite. So he's probably gonna use that venom, use that juice to finish Antonio Silva. I think he's gonna. If he doesn't get a decision, he's gonna knock him out. Somebody's getting knocked out. That's actually what I wrote in my in the article I'm about to publish on Page 2 Sports. Uriah Hall is coming off of his win from Gegard Mousasi. He doesn't seem to want to take any time off, so they got him on this card, and he's fighting Robert Whittaker, who's also coming off of who's also coming off a win, and both these guys are known to finish, with strikes, KOs. So I feel like this fight's a coin toss. I really couldn't tell you who's going to win. I don't even want to try to guess. I'll tell you who I want to win. I want Uriah Hall to win, just because I've been following him since he was on The Ultimate Fighter, and I think he's a pretty cool guy. So hopefully he does win, but we'll see. I got him picked to win. And then I think the main card starts off with Stefan Struve and Jared Rushholt. I think Rushholt's gonna grind out a victory there. Just because Stefan Struve, as long as he doesn't seem to utilize the last couple of fights he seemed a little tied up with himself. I don't know. I just got a feeling. I think Jared Rushholt, he's a grinder. I think he can grind out a victory. He's not going to try to strike with a lengthy ass man like Stefan Struve. So he's probably smarter than that. So I think Jared Rushholt is going to take that by decision. So those are my picks for UFC 193. Again, sorry for not having a guest, but it's hard to get people on these things, especially when everybody's got their own stuff going on. As I'm recording this, I'm watching Kickboxer with Jean-Claude Van Damme. If you want to feel old, watch something you used to admire as a kid. He's been on TV a lot this week, so JCVD. He's looking young in this film. 1989, Kickboxer came out. Think about what you were doing in 1989, and tell me if that doesn't make you feel old. But anyway, that's besides the point. He should do other movies though. Like I know he's trying to be more artsy or whatever he's trying to do now. But the other movie I saw that he was in this week was The Expendables 2. They were showing on Spike, and I thought his performance was pretty good in that. I think he should play more villains. The fight with him and Stallone was good at the end, and I always feel like if an actor is losing like the public eye's attention, they should switch up their game. Stop trying to be leading man, be a co-star, or just play a villain, play a bad guy, and that'll do you some good. It kind of did. Look at what it did for John Travolta. He was a bad guy in Pulp Fiction, and it resurrected his career. Now he's not doing anything now. But anyway, so UFC 193 in Australia on pay-per-view. I don't know why I worry that Ronda Rousey's going to lose her title when she fight I'll tell you, I was concerned for her. I was concerned that she was going to lose 2 times, and I'll tell you, one was with Sarah McMahon because she was on her level as far as being an Olympic competitor goes, and that ended quickly. And then the other time was against Kat Zingano, just because I think Kat Zingano's one of the toughest ladies. If I, in my own personal ranking, I would rank Kat Zingano right next to Ronda Rousey, just in toughness, because the way she fights and finishes people. She's got like a high. She's got 9 wins and 5 of them are by knockout, and the other, she's got like submitted the others. I think she's got 1 decision, but she's just that's a tough lady too. So. Anyway, when they fought, I thought she was gonna at least give her a run for her money, and that ended quick too. So what are you gonna do, man? I mean, Ronda Rousey's pretty amazing. She's doing a lot. She's doing a lot of good for MMA, and I hope that she's definitely a good ambassador for the sport. During the media call, she shut down the reporters and like left it because they wanted to ask her about her personal life. I mean, I think it comes with being in the public eye and being a celebrity, but I also think it's good for her that she shut them down just to let them know, like, I'm here to talk about my sport and my fight. If you want to get personal, then you got the wrong chick. So I think that was people were complaining about it. I think that was a good move on her part. So. And she's not a stupid person. Obviously, she wouldn't be champion and winning the way she wins. So, the whole range issue that myself included and everyone else and myself included seem to have with her and Holly Holm fighting this weekend, she probably thinks the same thing. Because my concern with her is this. When she fights, she tends to retreat. If someone's coming at her, she goes straight back or she goes straight forward. And somebody that knows how to work angles and striking like Holly Holm, because that's all part of the sweet science of boxing, she could walk right into a kick or a punch or something that she doesn't see that might buckle her knees or drop her. But she probably knows this, and I'm sure her team is drilling this with her. So the one thing about people that write and analyze it, like, you have to know that their team sees the same things too, and they're probably going to work on it. So, she doesn't do much side to side, is what I'm saying, and that's my concern. But I'm pretty sure we'll see that fixed. She's only gotten better. She's only gotten better since she's gotten the belt. So, since she's been champion, and I don't think there's any cause for concern. A lot of people are calling her to run through Holly Holm. I don't know if she'll run through her. I'd like to see it go more than one round. I mean, this finishing fights quick stuff it's cool and everything, but come on, these pay-per-views cost money. So it's like the Mike Tyson problem. But the shorter, she said it herself, the shorter her fights are, the longer her career is. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. But I think that's all I got for you guys. Again, I'm sorry it's just me and my rambling on, but what are you gonna do, man? I gotta tell you, I try to get it early in the podcast. So I've been talking to this guy. He's somebody I went to high school with. We started jiu-jitsu together, and he's coaches wrestling now. He was a pretty good wrestler in college and in high school, and I talked about it in another podcast how I wanted to talk about wrestling and wrestlers in the sport of mixed martial arts, because he always used to tell me that they're going to dominate, and they kind of are now. And so I actually want to get him on here to tell him he was right. And this is a guy that doesn't get a lot of wins in his life. But anyway, so I want to give him something he can share, and he dropped the ball. I mean, he's one of these guys that if you say, hey man, let's do something, anything, fill in the blank, he'll say, yeah, okay, and then he just drops the ball. He's just one of those guys. So anyway, so I'm not going to promise to talk about wrestling and him anymore. If he comes on, he comes on. But a couple of guys from Page 2 Sports are going to get on here. The NFL editor is planning on jumping on at some point. And then the boxing analyst, when he's not covering boxing. When I tell you he's one of the busiest guys in the combat sports channels, he's literally, like right now, he's at the Canelo Cotto open workouts. And he was going to try to get on here if he could make it home through traffic. So in LA, which he's not because it's traffic in LA. So, but he'll get on here when boxing takes a break. But he's been all over it. He's out there in California. I'm here in Jersey where it's cold and sucks, and it's raining and wet and it sucks. So speaking of Jersey, guess who's coming to Jersey next week? For Dana White's coming to Ring of Combat 53. He's going to be covering. He's got that scouting show he does with Matt Serra and Nick the Tooth. I don't know if you guys have checked it out. It's pretty good. It's worth watching. It's like a reality show, but it's them scouting new talent, and that's how they found Sage Flipperdo Northcutt, and so they're coming to Jersey. There's a lot of martial arts talent in Jersey, and so he's doing Ring of Combat Friday, but on the 20th, and then on the 21st, he's going to be in Pennsylvania at there's a promotion around here called Dead Serious MMA, and it's an amateur promotion, but a lot of guys from my academy fight there. They're not fighting at that event, but it's really nice to know that that's how deep they're looking for new talent, homegrown American talent. Somebody like Sage Northcutt is great to recruit and bring into the fold of the UFC, rather than do this Ultimate Fighter stuff, which is good. And I've been watching. I'm loving this season, by the way. Tanlay lost that last fight, but I still think he's worth bringing into the UFC. So hopefully we see more of him. And then Ryan Hall, just because he's a jiu-jitsu guy, and so am I. I love watching fighters evolve like that. So anyway, that's it for this week. I'm trying to be consistent, guys, but I'm pretty sure you're tired of hearing me talk forever without a guest. So I got a lot of guests that say they're coming, but they never come. But when they do come, you'll be the first to hear about it right here on the Carbasel MMA podcast. So thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week. We'll talk about the aftermath of this UFC 193. And we got a World Series of Fighting 8-man tournament coming up. So I'll be breaking that down on Page 2 Sports. Thanks for listening. You guys have a good weekend. Don't spend it all in one place. Don't drink too much. Don't get too rowdy watching Rousey. And peace.